Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis, and in this one what I want to cover is a couple of things. One, a few tips about these Legend Lost sectors that I see a lot of comments and questions on. You may not need those and you just want to jump into the gameplay. That's totally fine. Use the time scroll bar below and you should be able to jump ahead. But one thing about the Legend Lost sectors and the Master Lost sectors, they rotate every day. So I'm recording this a little after daily reset, my time, for March 13th. When, for one, daylight saving time, I always say that wrong, is going to be happening overnight. So when we get to tomorrow's daily reset, it's going to actually happen at 10 a.m. Pacific time. At that time, the Master difficulty Lost sector will go away. The one that was Legend will turn into Master. And then a new one, which we do know the rotation, K1 Revelation up here, is going to turn into the Legend Lost sector. So this one will be 1300 tomorrow. This one will be 1330 tomorrow. Today, this one's 1300. This one's 1330. They go through a rotation. Basically, the Master always follows where the Legend was. Legend goes to something new. Just to help a little bit there. Now, for this Lost sector specifically, you've got K1 Crew Quarters. There's a Fallen Champion, so we got Barrier and Overload. Hot Knife, that's so the Shanks are going to have solar shields on them, so you are going to need solar for that. Void damage and aerial damage. Always, I swear every one of these has aerial damage. It's like, don't jump. I'm like, we have classes that jump. Come on, little variety in the modifiers, please. That's just my only ask. Burn damage, arc damage is going to be pretty high, mostly because you've got a lot of fallen in here, so arc's always going to be high. Now, the whole purpose behind this loadout specifically is just to show you guys you can mix some things up. There's going to be some trial and error. Sometimes you're going to die, but you do, if you kill enough champions, deaths usually don't seem to be as big of an issue. I've died a lot, and I still haven't run out of lives, even being pretty careless, so hopefully this helps you guys. First, Overload champions. For one, can't stand them sometimes. They're really finicky. They teleport a lot. I'll show you guys how I handle those. And as I'm doing a weird loadout, what I'm using is the Surge Detonators mod from your artifact, and it allows arc grenades to stun Overload champions. Now, the only thing about Overload captains and most Overload champions, they tend to teleport, so you basically have to be up in their face, kind of take some damage just to stun them. So typically when you go for those, you almost need to make sure everything else in the room is kind of cleared out. So they're a little spicy. I hate how much they teleport. This is also why if you're going to go with a bow or anything else, bow, submachine gun, whatever you prefer, you can. But keep in mind, if you are going to do that, you know, can't have fun with the loadout. You're always stuck to this, that, and the other. So this is why I want to show you guys some variety. Now for Barrier, I have been enjoying the fact that we have snipers. I wish it didn't cost 6 energy on the piece of armor, but it is nice to have some variety. One thing to know about a sniper, this is a 90 RPM, so this is like, you know, the impact of the sniper itself. This, and if you go 72, you could probably do it as well, depending on what sniper. But say this long shadow at 90, and if I equip major spec on this thing, it will break a barrier shield in 1 bullet. If I don't, it literally takes 2, because he's got a smidge of shield left. So depending on the power of your sniper, this is 90. I'm not sure. I know there's 72s. I'm not sure if there's something above. But if you're running a 90 RPM sniper or lower, just make sure you have major spec on there, or just make sure you're one-tapping the barrier servitors, because if you're not, it's definitely just kind of draining ammo pretty uselessly. So that's going to be my Barrier champion. I've got my Overload champions here on Surge Detectors, and as I said, you've got a lot of Solar Shanks. Now, my advice is Xenophage, because if you've got it, it hits like a truck, and it's really good to use on basically as soon as you stun a champion, about 6-7 bullets, they're dead. Or about 5 or 6, and then you can finish them. That works fairly well, too. If you don't have something like this, my advice is to make sure that you can find some way to get a decent amount of solar damage consistently on your heavy. Now, you could go swords. You're going to have to get a little ballsy with some of the shots. You have your thermal erosion. This is your solar machine gun, kind of your only other option. But if you don't have Xenophage, I also recommend going to get it. There are plenty of guides out there on YouTube. I don't think I ever specifically made one, but it's worth the journey for this one into the Pit of Heresy because of what this weapon can do and its power. Pretty fantastic. So overall, Salvager Salvo is the final piece. You've got Barrier. I've got Overload with my grenades. I've got my solar covered. Now, there's not specifically arc shields, but this is actually just a fun thing to use, and I want to show you guys a double special loadout, Because here, I've got two things. One, Demolitionist gets my grenade energy back faster. For those times I get up to overload captains, this can help. In case I miss, I can try and go kill a few other things. Chain reaction, whole bunch of things explode. And if you're trying to use this on bosses, go boss spec. If you're trying to use it on champions, go major spec. So just keep that one in mind. Demolitionist is nice, but also Ambitious Assassin can be beneficial if you're not worried about the grenade damage. If you're just, I'm going to go with a bow for these overload captains, I want to be reliable, it's fine. But then you're probably not going to be using this thing as well. So hence, Demolitionist is fun to use to get the grenade energy back. Ambitious Assassin, sometimes you have 2 grenades to shoot back to back. That's actually really good for DPS. So overall, this is not what I would call a, easy loadout to use. You'll probably see me screw up a couple times here. That's the point. So they're probably going to do the clean run through. If I've got outtakes, I'll put those right before the outro. So let's jump in. Just a quick public service announcement. If you see this video today, and I say March 13th after daily reset, so that's at 9 a.m. Pacific time, through tomorrow, Sunday, March 14th at 10 a.m. Pacific, because of daylight saving time, you got the switch. This mod is for sale at Banshee. Buy it. It's really crucial to lots of Warmind cell builds, so if you don't have this, make sure you buy it today. All right, back to the Legendary Lost Sector. All right, so when you jump in, you're going to have some ads down here below. Depending on how they're grouped up, you get some nice explosions to start happening pretty early. You may not. Watch for the Vandal Snipers. They're going to be the fun ones. And again, take a little bit and try and pick off the ads that you can. Takes a little bit. Now the champion, you can see the champion appeared, so it's going to be off to my right. There are going to be a few more ads that come in, so try and take those out first. As you're running double special, you will be kind of clearing out some ammo here. Don't worry about the captain. He's going to warp all over the damn place. Just leave him kind of be for now. If you piss him off, But once you got most of everything cleared out, you might have 1 or 2 more ads. This is when you have to make your kind of aggressive push for the captain. Also a nice time, if you get the option to turn back here, hit these 2 shanks, you just don't have to worry about them. So now what you need to do is find the captain. You can hear him warping literally everywhere. So frustrating. And if you die here, it's not the end of the world. But if you do want to try and be a little more survivable, wait for him to teleport. As soon as he teleports is when you want that grenade to hit. So if you see him, teleport, then throw the grenade. That's usually your best option to try and get him to actually get hit by it. And then don't forget about your finishing moves. Those are a great way to conserve your heavy ammo as well. You're going to have a couple ads that spawn in here. Theoretically, there's 2 of them in there. Only it didn't show. Good time to reload. Now, coming up, you're going to see your barrier servitor. And then past that one, we're going to have an overload captain. So barriers next, so definitely make sure your sniper's reloaded. You're going to have a lot of ads that come out down below. Quite a few in little groups down here. You're also going to have quite a few that come out above. That was a little closer than it should have been. So again, a lot of arc damage coming at you because it's Fallen. That's literally what they love to use. You can kill some of these ads, kill them in groups, and some of your explosive shanks. Just kind of peek back and forth behind this rock and try and kill what you can. Watch out for the Marauders. They will definitely be up here. Got one of them, did not get the second. Now he's dead. Now you can see the servitor popped up back there. The servitor's going to be back there doing his thing. Remember, as you get them close to their first bar of health chunk, that's when they're going to pop their shield. You're also going to have some exploder shanks. Watch out for those. They get to be a little spicy. Spicy meatballs. So, depending on where all the ads are going to play. Now again, you can see there's the servitor. Usually very good about protecting his buddies. So what I've done is you can get a little high ground just for a sec. Watch the grenade throws. Those are always well placed. Greg's grenade throws. All of those always hurt. So you want to make sure your sniper's reloaded. And then tag him literally just a couple times. Wait for him to gather his thoughts. Stagger him. That's the single stagger shot. Again, this 90 RPM sniper does require boss spec to do that. A lower sniper might be able to single tap it, but if you have issues, check which sniper and which mods you're running. That can definitely help you. So at this point, just a few more ads to clear out. It is nice to get my little mods. I don't get a whole lot of airborne stuff going on. It's also a good way to kill yourself. I'll leave that one in for your guys' entertainment value. Now, you could literally sit back here and start picking some ads off. Got a Vandal back here, it's a sniper. Gonna have some Exploder Shanks doing their thing. I see a Dreg. Now, I've got a while till I get to another barrier champion, so I can go through a decent amount of the sniper ammo. But again, remember, you're running 2 specials. So be particular with your hammer. Switch over to your heavy. If I got heavy on the ground, I'm absolutely going to use it, especially if it's sitting right in front of me and I've got another clip to go. Oh, I absolutely will use my heavy. So don't be too stingy on the heavy, especially because that's also switching weapons is going to usually help you get some of that other ammo to drop. Now, that's a fairly powerful push because those guys were all grouped together. Don't imagine it's always going to work that way. And then, once you get most of the ads cleared, you'll probably see a few as you go. Those little tracking shots from the overload captain, yeah, they're a little annoying. So what we're going to do, go around the outside, try and find our snipers, so push up a little here, use your cover. And there's going to be 2 more snipers. These Shanks on the far side, tag them. That range shot right there alone is why you probably want something solar with range. Now, if you go a solar bow like Ticuu's Divination here, it's pretty powerful to use. But now, then I don't have salvage or salvo. Okay, the tracking on these shots is crazy. If you really want to change your angle, you can actually jump up here. It's kind of fun to do too. I don't always do this, but it's a nice way. You got to be careful of there. Not too many of the guys will see you, but occasionally they will get you. Alright, so now make sure you got your sniper reloaded. Again, however you want to damage the captain. Make sure this is reloaded, and then we're going to go again for the overload. But you have to basically charge the captain, wait right after a teleport to throw that grenade so you make it count. So he's going to teleport. Probably going to teleport again. That one finally stuck. So again, it's really tricky, and I cannot tell you how many times I have thrown a grenade and whiffed the grenade. This time it didn't happen, but there are countless takes that I didn't quite record when I was practicing where the grenade did not connect and pretty much had to redo it or wait like a good minute until I get my grenade back. So all those Shanks are going to be shielded for a little while, so it's in your benefit to take out that servitor early. So again, be ready with the big damage from this. Make sure your sniper is connected. And again, if you can get a couple clean crits on it, you can probably get it to pop straight away. If you actually do, you notice the crit spot on this thing now has actually moved. It's really strange, but it actually will move. And sometimes, okay, it's just going to throw the heavy ammo at me. Alright, so now we got solar for Shanks. There's going to be some up here. I've got heavy ammo just being thrown at me so I can be a little more aggressive on this front. Now, there is another champion up there that you want to make sure you kill, so don't... I could go my Curious of the Falling Star and probably nearly kill this guy right now, but I actually don't want to. So I'm just going to go working down with damage. I've got enough of these grenades. It's got spike grenades on it. Just completely whiffed over his head. Just trying to do some damage, get the ads to spawn. You are trying to at least get the barrier servitor out here. It will spawn about partway through the boss's health. So if you don't want to use a super... or you don't want to use, you know, slow grenade damage, I can pluck his damage down. It's going to be somewhere about half. There you go. Champion has appeared literally right below half. Now you can probably pull back a little bit, grab some ammo on both fronts. And then now you can probably use your grenade launcher for all the explosion groups, which is always fun to do. You're going to have a lot of ads. You're going to have a barrier servitor up here. See what you can kill that is not being shielded by the servitor, because God knows they're annoying. If anything actually dies and takes damage, well, good stuff. Now, barrier servitor is going to do a shield thing. Now is a decent time to go for a super. Now, if you die, guess what? That is okay. It's just a nice way to pop your super, especially if I was in a weird position, but I did break the shield, so I wanted to go for it. I've still got 6 lives left. I'm not that worried about lives. Dying is going to be okay. I just want to show you guys it doesn't have to be a solo flawless run to be successful, and then hopefully maybe we'll get an exotic on this one too. We'll see. At this point, I can just throw the damage in his face, whatever I want to throw. Reload some grenades. There are no more overload captains, so your normal grenade's going to work fairly well also. Gotta love when that happens. Chain reaction's kind of beautiful, and he is down. So it's fairly it's not rushed. It's not too long. 15 minutes is your time before your reses go away. And this is a goofy loadout. There are, if you use, Ticuu's Divination on a solar bow, I probably did that in a previous video. Open it up. Don't worry about the Lost Ghost Trace. That's just because some random moon quest that I haven't done. But I did not get the you know, I didn't get an exotic on this one, doesn't mean I won't get it on the next one. So let's go back out to orbit, or at least back to the surface, and we'll wrap this thing up. So that pretty much does wrap this one up. Again, a quick reminder on the loadout. You could run this a completely different way if you want to. If you want to run Sniper up here, you could totally run Ticuu's Divination right here. That way you have Solar and Overload covered. Then you don't have to worry about your grenade situation possibly missing. You've got a backup. And then down here, you can literally run anything. Tracking rocket launcher, linear fusion rifle, another machine gun, grenade launcher. It's really, really up to you at that point. Just make sure you have solar shields covered some way, somehow. You've got, obviously, barrier for the servitors and overload for the captains. And that's mostly it. This is not one that like has 3 different shield types and a crazy like setup of guys and long range hallways, and not. This is actually probably one of the more reasonable lost sectors to run through. So hopefully this guide helps you guys out. If it does, please drop a like below, leave a comment with what you run through. Risk Runner's another one that's really popular to run. It's going to be overload. It's going to give you, you know, help against the arc resistance as well for a fallen lost sector. So again, you've got a lot of options in here. Comment below if you guys have different ones you like. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and the alert bell. And also remember those tips from the beginning. Check Banshee on the daily. He's selling that really good mod today for Wrath of Rasputin, so don't forget about that. And finally, if you guys want to find me other places, I stream on twitch.tv/Ebontis and also hang out on Twitter sometimes. Thank you guys very much. I'll see you soon.